close eye.
Welcome to week 14 of the Pivot. We're at week 17 of the NFL. We're live from Crybaby Hill Studios, and we're brought to you by Vast Bank and executively produced. Man, it's been a while. We've been gone, guys. Executively
The
produced
boys are
by
back in town.
Toby Buchanan.
Toby Buchanan.
Oh, wow. Sorry, we had to get his name mentioned. Toby, this has been a long morning already. So Toby Biocchini is our executive producer. Toby Buchanan's a buddy of mine, former Black Dog member. Anyway, if
Another future sponsor.
hopefully, yeah, maybe a future or maybe a future listener. Hopefully. Anyway, welcome back, guys. We haven't been in the same room for a while. We've been doing some. Last week we did a Zoom call broadcast, and so this week we're back in the studio for the last game of the regular season. How you guys doing? How are your holidays?
Good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to Portland? You
Went to Hillsboro, Oregon.
right?
It was good.
Portland is pretty. Wow.
Yeah,
Portland.
it's really Portland.
Is pretty.
Yeah,
Been one time. Pretty place.
I liked it.
What about you, Julio? You have a good holiday?
Happy New Year, by the way, to both
Juice,
you guys.
Juice New Year. How about the Juice Nation? You say anything to them?
So, back to Vast Bank. I went there for the first time yesterday. Spent
The
New
actual
Year's
bank.
Eve. Well, I went to the restaurant up top in the building.
For you guys who don't know, Vast Bank has a new actual building down across from One Oak Baseball Field.
It's beautiful.
Which features on the top of it a restaurant called In the Raw View.
View.
I thought it was View.
I think it's View.
Pronounced View?
Yeah, I think so.
V-U.
It is, but I think it's View because of the view you get from the,
That's what I figured, but I
Yeah.
thought View might be
might be View. I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, it was good.
Good, and the building
And
pretty?
like restaurant was beautiful. Service was great.
Yeah. How about the overlook of the field and whatnot?
It was rainy, yesterday.
But could you see the potential?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll be going back for sure.
I'm jealous. I have not been to In the Raw on the top of Vast Bank, but I want to, and I will in the near future.
I didn't get the Pivot show discount though that I was looking for. We need to talk to the executive producer about that.
Yes, we will talk to the producer about some perks for the boys, for the talent. Anything else about the holidays, guys? Before I want to do some house cleaning before we jump into this week. We had talked about last week that we'd be doing a television live stream version of this. Unfortunately, the equipment is on its way. It's going to be here Sunday. We have scheduled to do a playoff show live stream that's going to be kind of our practice for the 2021 season. We've in discussions next year. We're planning on bringing full live streams on Friday. And on Sunday, some Zoom call updates for you all. Hopefully by then we'll have plenty of people interested in what we're saying. And we'll want all that information, but we're planning on providing it. So if you're a regular listener, which I know we have several, we really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys all had a good holiday. I understand we had some good season-long finishes. We had some good scores. Thank you, Matt, if you're listening as a new listener who's had a lot of good comments. And I know you got a big score that we appreciate you listening and your support. Couple of your buddies chimed in with
Brad
comments.
and Ryan.
Yeah,
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys, for
I think we
the
got
comments.
I heard a rumor that the brother-in-law listened to the
Yep.
show. Yeah, we appreciate Jordan for
Wow.
checking us out. And we might hopefully get some involvement with him in the future. But let's give a shout out to that website again.
It's oneweekseason.com,
Cool.
which
So-
they do NFL all year, and they're just now starting to get into NBA. So you can find NBA projections and ownership percentages.
And I'm sure
on
it's a
there as
great
well.
website, but their NBA projections will not reflect what the Juice has been doing in the NBA so
he's
far.
been killing it.
I apologize. I've promised some people some NBA shows. We've actually recorded 2 due to our producer being out of town and us learning some of this. We didn't get them up in time, but we got. Let me promise you, both lineups we gave you cash. I think every lineup the Juice has given us is cash.
Yep.
So we've got some cashing NBA lineups coming for you in the future, and we'll look forward to providing you those in similar fashions. I think we might try to do a weekly show, and then we'll do Zoom calls in between there too. So
yeah, we got big plans for NBA.
Yeah,
we're just trying to figure it out, but we're definitely
I have to admit the 2 NBA shows we did, kind of test runs, got my juice flowing for how on top of things the Juice can be. It was like, I'm telling you, the Nicaraguan Tony Romo is real. That's a real thing, Chris Hart. Thanks for that.
Here's the other thing too. You mentioned a rumor about the brother-in-law listening.
Yeah,
it is a fact that my brother-in-law has not listened.
Okay,
and so so
I can also say my brother-in-law has not listened.
If he wants to stay at my house till Thursday, he will listen to the show this week. There's going to be a little caveat that's going to be thrown at him when I get home.
I haven't forced family members yet to listen, but I think that's our next step.
Yeah.
If you are listening, guys, and you haven't taken the chance to like each episode or hit the subscribe button so you know when each episode's coming out, we don't mean to sound repetitive. We don't mean to sound like we're begging for but it really does help the show. It helps the show get off a little more than we like. We're going to be doing different things as far as marketing next year. We didn't even really think 2020 was going to happen, but we had a pandemic. We had some free time. We had some creativity, desire. We had some extra money to throw at it, and so we just started a little bit early to give it. So this test run was good. To kind of review, right now we sit 4th or 5th place in Rays League. I know we're about 48 points out behind Guardy 1, who has a pretty decent lead because 2nd and 3rd are just 12 points ahead and like 15 points ahead. So top 3 spots pay. We're sitting in 4th. That means we need a miracle. Maybe not a miracle, just a great week. Mm-hmm. And this is probably the toughest week of the season to do it. Would you agree?
I mean, a lot of moving parts this week.
Right.
So quick hindsight 2020. We finished. We won the heads up match to put us in a substantial lead over Juice Jr., as we refer to him. Juice Jr. is a new player who I think is kind of a natural at this. We could call him maybe Lightning Boy. He's a little bit of a natural. He plays like 9 great plays, and he puts a 10th play that just blows your mind sometimes.
I think I would like the guy if his name wasn't Juice.
Yeah. His real name is Chance. I think I can expose that. And Chance has a wife getting over COVID and a father and mother that are getting over COVID. So Chance, if you're by chance listening, I hope your family's feeling better.
Yes.
Hope you lose all your DK stuff this week, but I hope your family feels much better.
I hope he loses, or I hope he wins all his DK stuff except our stuff.
Well, I think our stuff is the pinnacle of his DK stuff.
Sure.
So, yes, anything not doing, but pretty much if Juice Jr. is doing DK, he has some wager that includes me and Guardy 1 and the rest of the crew. So,
Juice Jr., feel free to throw some heads up in basketball, by the way.
Yes, I hope to God there's a boredom itch that he wants to play some heads. I'd love to play heads up basketball. That just sounds fun. Anyway, hindsight, we've had a great year. I tell these guys all the time that I feel like we've won already. Without the help of the Juice and Jared, I would definitely be in second to last place, which is proven by the fact that in our league, the Pivot League as we call it, I scored 85 points last week.
But you do have more wins than any of us.
Yeah, and I was shooting for the fences. So
you finished we'll do one more week this week.
It could be tied. So you won? Julio won last week, right?
Yeah, so it could be tied between you two. I'm lost.
I'm lost. You started off so well.
I did, and it did not end well.
I have to admit though, your lineups are you stay as true to your word on this show as anyone, right?
That's right.
If you're touting it, you're playing.
There's a little gamesmanship between Lions and I.
Yeah. If we're touting it, we
for sure.
Anyway, we got other plans for leagues next year. We're going to try to put together a Pivot League, and if you guys have any input on how you'd like to see that done, please let me know. I like the league format where we have like a league with set players each week, that not just random public here pay your money and who wins. But I'm open to whatever. Definitely, if you're a listener and you're interested in being in Rays League next year, it's a fairly priced league. It's not overly cost, and we could use the competition, and it's more fun, more people, right? So anyway, that's the hindsight for this. I really appreciate we are going to do some playoff shows, so it's not our last NF show, but I do want to say thank you. I'm very shocked. I'm proud of the 14 the products we have put out. I've had fun with the intros. I've had fun with the music choices. I've had fun with our picks. I've had fun with the guests. It's been it was a good 2020 as far as the Pivot launching was concerned.
It was for sure.
And I hope it's just a sign for more. If the Pivot were to die tomorrow, I'd be happy with what we accomplished. But I think there is a lot more to accomplish. Also, look for Hard 8 Racing at the Tulsa Chili Bowl. You will note that there's a Pivot logo will be featured on the
Wow. Pretty cool.
car that finished 5th last year in the Chili Bowl, which is a huge
Nice.
midget sprint car race. If you're from this area, you probably have heard of it. If you've never heard of it, check it out. We like to support those who support us, and Hard 8 Racing is going to be a supporter of the Pivot, and we have some T-shirts coming, I think, too. So anyway, that's
Before we finish Hindsight 2020, do we want to hear the Millionaire
you mean
Maker
doing an
lineup?
actual Hindsight 2020
Yeah.
instead of just me talking. Yeah, let's hear it. What was the women's
So,
formula last week? And I want to
Quarterback.
remind you, this is a main slate lineup and not Ray's league.
Yep, main
But-
slate lineup.
Okay.
The quarterback was Deshaun Watson, playing Cincinnati, scored 30 points. He even got injured at the end of the game. He
Yeah.
was still in there.
I can say we managed to not play him once.
Yep.
I think I played him
You
in
played-
our.
Yeah, I played him in
three-way.
the-
Thanks.
Yeah.
I played him in a random lineup, but it wasn't enough for it to save my week.
Ray's league, he has not been featured.
David Montgomery, 20 points, playing Jacksonville. David Johnson, we talked about him, 31 points.
I have to admit, my busyness last Sunday got in the way of us playing David Johnson. I was helping a friend with Fix a Flat Tire and not putting enough attention to the fact that we mentioned David Johnson and then didn't even consider playing him. And
Yeah.
I take 100% responsibility for that.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. Michael
Happens to
Gallup,
me a lot.
33 points.
I mean, how many times are we going to talk about him?
Right?
Finally.
This is stupid. Brandon Cooks, you basically could have stacked Houston and did pretty good.
Which I did in the 3-man
Yes,
contest.
which
by the way.
Julio did in a pivot league.
T. Higgins, you can run it back there. He got 21 points
We
in
had
that game.
So we had both. We had T. Higgins in our original build last week.
Yeah. Mark Andrews for Baltimore got 13.6. Jamison Crowder, who I actually hate now because every time I play him, he sucks, and then when I'm like done, he scores 30 points.
Dude, he was a beast last
He was
week.
he was an absolute beast. And then the Chargers playing Denver was the defense this lineup played.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
total of 217
Just by the way,
points.
Denver was the team that I built around, so that was an indication of how my lineup did. Anyway, let's. So, like we said, Week 17 is a quite the puzzle to put together. We have not only injuries, but we have people who will be opted out because playoff spots have been secured and that they can't be changed.
Why don't sorry to interrupt, Matt, but why don't we go through like the teams real quick that have something to play for
I
this
think
week?
that is the best.
Because
way
I think that's like probably the most important thing.
I think
this
if
week.
we can provide any information to our loyal
Yeah.
listeners, that is the most important. So let's do it. Game
Yeah.
one.
So
Hold on,
tennis.
let me set this up.
Yeah.
Julio, juice.
Yes.
First game that matters this week is
Well, Tennessee can clinch the AFC South Division title if they win.
wow. That's interesting.
That's big, right?
Yep.
'Cause Houston sucks.
Yeah.
And they probably want to get Derrick Henry 200 yards as well.
Right.
I mean, 2,000 yards on
So
the
what
year.
does he need to get 2,000?
I think he didn't have a great week. He had 98 yards last week, so he needs like 280, something like that. Ridiculous.
Okay. Julio, hold on.
Yeah.
The second game that matters this week, Julio, is
Miami's another one.
Miami. And who do they play?
They play. I should know this, but
I thought we had a list.
well, I'm going through the scenarios. They play the Bills.
Nice. So just to ask, not to ruin the list. So far on the list, we have first Tennessee, second Miami. Does Buffalo also matter?
They're in already, so
I
they're
think
fine.
we should mention that. So first, in the first game, Tennessee is playing a team that is playing for absolutely nothing other than a draft pick.
That's correct.
Miami is playing for a team that may have secured their playoff spot.
They're definitely in. They're definitely in.
And they're definitely, I think, are they the
They've
second
they've won
spot?
they've won the division title. So
So they really have nothing to play for.
right, but it's a divisional game. I mean, it's Miami. It's a in division rival.
So if we had to guess, because we're just kind of doing this, do we think Josh Allen plays a full game?
I think so.
So we think Stephon
Yeah.
Diggs plays a full game.
Yeah, I mean, the other caveat is Stephon Diggs could basically win the yardage title for receivers this year.
So in other words, these guys aren't a bunch of Florida scrubs that like
No,
to
they're not.
get it, run their mouth,
No.
get destroyed, and then make multiple excuses for getting destroyed. Is that what you're basically saying?
Buffalo is not coached by Dan Mullen,
Who did what?
who basically got his team destroyed by the Oklahoma Sooners in the Cotton Bowl, and then the next day said, we really didn't even want to play this game.
So did Dan Mullen send out to all the people that had traveled during this COVID time to Dallas to watch his scrub team play? Had he given them the heads up that this was just a practice to them and that OU was just playing their JV team as he liked? Anyway, we move on.
Yeah, we
but
move
Dan
on.
Mullen is on the list.
He's on the list.
He's on the list. We can't play him, but he still makes the list.
If I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm scheduling a home and home with Florida.
Why would
Honestly.
they? I mean, why would Florida schedule a home and home with OU when they can just keep playing their SEC schedule, claiming their conference is the best, and then they don't have to play anybody out of non-conference to and when they play people anyway. Every team in the SEC, you're riding Alabama's coattails. We all see it. You can say you guys are all great, but just because Alabama great doesn't make anyway. Let's move on. We'll move on. Okay. Julio, third game that matters.
Can't believe the Cowboys are in this conversation.
Right.
but-
The Cowboys may be the play. I mean, maybe stack Cowboys this week.
That's what I've been looking at.
Well, okay, so here's another. I kind of just want to go through the scenarios, right? The teams that really have something to play for.
I kind of like doing the list, but
I mean, we'll be here all day if we do this. So Green Bay can clinch a first round bye if they win. New Orleans can clinch a first round bye with a New England win and a Green Bay loss.
okay.
So these teams have things to
And
play
they all
for.
play at the same time.
Yeah. Seattle also can clinch a first round bye with a win, Green Bay loss, and a New Orleans loss or tie. So I mean, there's a bunch of games.
Keep going. There's more. I haven't heard Arizona.
Washington can clinch the NFC East Division title if they win.
Okay.
Los Angeles can clinch a playoff berth with a Rams win or tie, or Chicago loss or tie. What's interesting about that scenario is Jared Goff is out this week.
Right. So they're playing for something without golf.
Right.
I think they're drawing dead, but that's okay.
And then we've got Chicago that's in it. Arizona can clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie and a Chicago loss.
Cleveland.
Dallas can clinch.
I haven't heard Cleveland.
Well, I'm going through NFC
Okay.
right now. Dallas can clinch the NFC East Division title with a Dallas win and a Washington loss. So they're obviously something to play for. And New York can clinch the NFC East Division title if they win and Washington loses, and they're playing the Cowboys.
Wow.
So that Cowboys-Giants game
I'm telling
Matters
you.
a
is
lot.
kind of like a win or die scenario.
That's
right?
a gold mine. I truly think that might be the gold mine. Who's playing Denver? Somebody's playing Denver that has.
Well, hold on. Like let's go through the AFC.
Oh, that's
We
just
didn't
the
finish.
NFC?
Yeah, that's just NFC.
Okay, so if we're going to do this, let's quickly. So while we're still in the NFC, those are all the teams that matter. Quick list of teams to avoid because they're playing backups. Who does that leave?
Well, let's just go through the teams in the NFC that are eliminated from the playoffs, right?
Well, I don't care about eliminated.
well-
I'm more worried about teams that are clinched playoff spots that are not going to play.
I mean, I haven't really heard much news about the Chiefs, but there was rumors that they were not going to play
I've heard
Mahomes.
I've heard Mahomes is not playing for a
right,
fact.
right. So that's huge right there.
Right.
I don't know if Hill's going to play, but he's been banged up the last
His
couple weeks.
hamstrings bother him. Why would they play him?
Why would they play him? If you're not playing those guys, why would you play Kelsey?
Right.
Right. I mean, so I would imagine all
So
those guys
Kansas
sit.
City is on the list of teams to avoid this week.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would-
Yeah.
What about who else?
I mean, the NFC, nobody really, because all those
It
teams at
sounds
the
like
top have
NFC
something to
is-
play for.
NFC's in play, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We talked about
What
Buffalo.
about this? What about Minnesota, Detroit? Would there be any reason for?
Well, so Minnesota, Dalvin Cook's out. Something happened with his dad.
Okay.
I think he
But
passed or something.
Minnesota will be playing full force.
They will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Detroit sucks. I don't know if you guys realize that.
Yeah, they're
So
not good.
okay. So what about AFC? What are we looking at there? Are there any teams to avoid in the AFC?
In the AFC, you said?
Yeah. Like
I really just think it's Kansas City. Pittsburgh is not starting Roethlisberger, I believe.
Right. They're
So-
playing Mason Rudolph.
Right.
they don't really. Pittsburgh doesn't have anything to really play for.
Not
right?
really.
I wouldn't touch that team.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh, Kansas City are two teams.
Yeah.
What about we said New Orleans does?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do because they can clinch a first round bye.
The team that I didn't hear, and only because they have a great matchup I'm discussing, is Tampa Bay. Or Atlanta. Yeah, Tampa Bay playing Atlanta. Does Tampa Bay have anything to play for?
Yeah, I mean they're the fifth seed right now, so
I think they're locked into that spot.
I think they are kind of locked in. But I haven't heard anything
You
about
ever
them
heard about
sitting.
them sitting anybody?
Yeah.
I would be a little leery of Tampa Bay, just to be warning, maybe playing half.
Yeah, I mean Brady is older, so they might want to preserve him a little bit. It makes a little bit of sense.
So while we're on this list of teams to avoid, let's talk about some injury news too. I know Ryan Fitzpatrick is COVID. I know
Keenan Allen looks like he's on COVID.
Keenan's out. He's
Yeah,
out. They
he's
shut him
definitely
down for the season.
have we heard anything about Zeke or anything like that? Because that's a big game.
Dalvin Cook is out.
Oh, Goff's also out.
There's a report here that says multiple Dallas players are tested positive for COVID-19. So there could be some interesting things coming out of there.
Wow, because that's a big game to be
Yeah.
playing backups in.
Yeah, that's not good. So there's going to be a lot of, a lot of stuff we're going to have to check on Sunday, the injury report to see what's going on. This just popped up. Alexander Madison, backup for Dalvin Cook, is questionable.
Wow, so is it?
So that's interesting. So it'd be like maybe Mike Boone would be someone you'd be looking at. So yeah, there's this. I think this week more than any is you really have to on Sunday. This is a example of an NBA slate. You've got to have all the information prior to kickoff because if you don't, some of your lineups could be drawing dead before the ball even kicks off.
Yeah, and this is going to be one where we're going to have to set some time Sunday morning to really watch the news because I think it's going to come fast and furious.
I think real quick, if you guys wouldn't mind doing
this, flip on Matt Barry, our arch nemesis.
I think
someday you'll be flipping us on. Next year, you'll just be flipping to us, and we'll be getting you that information. You'll no longer have to watch Matt Barry. We're doing that for you, people. We're helping you.
Let me give you real quick the projected ownerships because I think that'll kind of tell you also who's got something to play for and who might be injured. Because there's some surprising names, but Malcolm Brown for the Rams.
Yeah,
is
not
the
a big
number
Brown
one
fan. I know that both Henderson's out and Akers is out.
Akers is questionable. He hasn't officially been ruled out.
Okay, Golf's out, so that's a lineup that might struggle to me.
And I think Cooper Kupp is out.
That is correct. I have Woods in a few builds that I built originally.
Alexander Madison is second. Derrick Henry is third. Kamara is fourth at the running back.
It's crazy, Kamara and Henry's matchups. I'm so glad Cook isn't playing because if we had Cook, Kamara, and Henry playing against who they're playing this week, it would be unbelievable. I built a lineup with all three of them in it just to see if you could do it.
Yeah, I bet you could.
You can.
Yeah. Here's the other thing too is it's amazing to me what could have been for Kamara this year if Drew Brees had just played the whole season. Because
it's true.
Right? I mean, Taysom Hill just kind of neutered his stats.
Right.
Don't worry, though. He got 6
weeks.
touchdowns for nobody since it wasn't on the slate.
Yeah, but I mean, that goes to show you, like, what could have been this year had,
No, Kamara is somebody that I would, depending on if Brees stays and who takes over if he doesn't stay, I could see him projecting as the first pick in the
Jameis next year
season long
with Kamara.
Yeah, it's not going to be Jameis. Proud franchise. But I can see. I mean, we can talk about that when we have less things to talk about because this week we're chalked. But next week I'd like to talk a little bit about looking forward to season long and kind of some projections for that.
Let's go through the receivers real quick.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams is number one.
It's probably a good choice
at Chicago.
And we're pretty convinced that Green Bay has a lot to play for.
Yes,
yes.
First round bye.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson is number 2 on the list. Josh Reynolds.
Okay.
That Cooper Kupp being out makes sense.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley is 4th.
Wolford Reynolds combo could be a big game. Week 17.
Josh Reynolds is only 3,200 this week as well.
And Wolford's like 4,900. So you could literally play those two and then play everybody you want to play.
I feel like we're gonna have a big stars and scrub type build.
Yeah,
this week,
I see that happening.
Right. I mean, that's just the way I'm kind of looking right now. Robbie Anderson, that's kind of surprising to me. He's been doing well, but I don't know.
Carolina was on my list of teams. How do we attack Carolina? Do they have anything to play for?
I don't think so.
And they're playing Washington, right? Or no? Who are they playing?
No, they're playing Carolina. And Mike Davis is probably out also for
they're
Carolina.
Playing New Orleans.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about Indianapolis? Do they have anything to play for?
Yeah, they do. They do
Okay.
for sure. The playoffs are.
I finally have the lock and load. I never really have a lock and load.
Well,
We'll get there.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
got, let's get through that.
Let's go quarterback real quick, and then let's get moving on the slate. So Lamar Jackson is number one.
That's who I built my lineup around. They have a lot to play
They
for.
have a lot
right?
to play for, and they're playing at Cincinnati.
Which I don't know if you guys remember, but Lamar Jackson has feasted on the Bengals.
Yeah,
the
and he's
last-
been feasting lately. He's kind of turning into the old Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is second. Again, they've got a lot to play for at Chicago.
It's such a tough matchup.
Deshaun Watson is third.
He's banged up right now. We got
He's
to watch
banged
that.
up, and they're playing Tennessee. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, he's not my guy this week.
he's not my guy either.
well, I mean, Tennessee's not like a hard matchup though.
They're not, but I mean, what's to say they shut him down at halftime?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have anything to play for. I mean, I think they're going to play him regardless. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like Deshaun Watson this week,
I'm a little leery of Watson. I'm just
but
worried.
it makes sense to be a little leery. But,
I
mean,
could see it.
I
think
just think with when we know that there's games on the line, there's money on the line for people, we need to play those teams,
Yeah.
right?
right.
yeah,
Like Rodgers or Lamar.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins is fourth. We've been burned by
Never
the Kirk
played
Cousins train before. Justin Herbert, that's surprising that he's
Yeah, they're-
that's
they're-
high up there.
They've I think they peaked out.
Then Josh Allen is right below, so he's another guy that's
If people thought that Josh Allen was really going to play at home game for Miami, I mean, that could just be a showcase of Buffalo excellence this week, right?
Yeah.
Boy, Monday night was, right?
yeah.
is Tom Brady on there?
He's a little bit lower. He's at 3% ownership.
So quarterback, it doesn't matter. Just play. My advice, and for our teams that we're about to build, and for your teams out there, is I'd play the quarterbacks with the most to play, just because the question marks on this week just make it not worth it.
Yeah.
What about just before we jump into our lineup? Do you lessen your play on this week, Julio, or do you play about the same amount?
No, I'm going very light this week.
See, I'm the other way.
Yeah.
we're running out of sunlight, baby.
I mean, I get it, but now my
This is-
focus is going to NBA.
This is
so,
where, yeah.
like, you know,
But you're gonna get you got a playoff round for us next week, so we can practice the television before we officially break you off to NBA.
yeah.
Okay, you got
yeah.
one more football lineup
Absolutely.
next
I mean, I'm going to keep playing. I'm just
I
playing
know.
lighter because it's week 17 and there's so
year.
much
It's
up
a
in the
tough
air.
week. It's
yeah, there's a
tough
lot of
week.
confusion going
Yeah.
on this week.
Well, let's start building a little bit. How about that, guys?
Yeah, let's do
last regular season build, last Rays team we're going to build for 2021 season or 2020 season, even though we're officially 2021. Kind of a nostalgic. Thank you again for the ride. This has been a good ride. Let's figure out how we're going to get the win, or at least get third or second or third. Let's get some money out of these guys. We kind of always start off with our favorite plays, whether that's a beast that you think is going to blow up, or some kind of value play that we think we need in a lineup in order to unlock stuff. I think my favorite play of this week that I feel like needs to be in our lineup is Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I like Jonathan Taylor.
They're playing Jacksonville. If they have anything to play for, now if they don't, then I don't think he should be in there. But if we're convinced that Indianapolis has something to play for, I think Jonathan Taylor is a 2-touchdown candidate.
Okay.
Wilkins has officially, I think, left the building. Hines has definitely taken over more as a third down back role, and he's scoring multiple touchdowns
Yeah.
at a time. Anybody have any strong disagreement with placing?
Jonathan Taylor? No, I like Jonathan Taylor a lot this week. This
Do we have? He's not cheap. So, is there somebody that we think is he holding up value somewhere by playing a 100 running back?
I
Playing
mean,
at home?
I will say he's the cheapest of the running backs that I like this week.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, so
Because here's what I want to do,
Yeah.
and tell me what you guys think. I think we should pick the 3 best running backs on the 3 best spots and build the team around it.
I'm going to do much less correlation this
You
week.
see what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
just build. Let's find the 3 best running backs that we think we're going to crush. Let's put them in, no matter the price, and we'll figure the lineup around it.
I'll probably, what I would see if you guys agree with this, I would like to do maybe just like a skinny stack, like maybe like a quarterback and receiver. We
And
don't
then-
have to run it back with anybody.
I agree.
Like,
We're
just,
not,
you know.
because of the way these games are played, I think this is a different scenario. I don't know. I mean, we can correlate in spots that we think that makes sense to correlate, but I don't mind. We just need as many points as
Right.
we can get, and we don't care where, if we have to build a lineup that we'd be ashamed of, I don't care if it gets us there.
That's right. I'm
So-
in lockstep with that.
JMJ, I see you doing a little bit of deep calculating over there. Who are you going to announce as your lock and load or value play or guy that you'd like to see in the lineup no matter what?
I mean, I got to end the season how I did most of the season, and that's Derrick Henry.
I mean, it's hard to argue against Derrick Henry.
He's playing Houston, which is like the worst run defense in the league. He's 9,400. It's cheaper than last week, and he usually explodes after a mediocre week, which he had a mediocre week last week.
I think he has every reason in the world to have a big game, right?
Yeah.
Houston's
I think
horrible.
Houston's terrible.
He could get to 200,000 if he explodes, right?
If he explodes,
How close is he?
I think he needs around 250, 280 yards to get 2,000
Oh, wow.
rushing yards. But that's not.
Sorry, Houston.
Yeah. But that's something he's done before.
Oh,
So, I mean,
we know the NFL. Anything's possible, right?
Right.
I mean, he could have 307. There's no doubt.
yeah. Especially with Kamara having his game last week.
Juice. I know. I would say that Derrick Henry, we've spent the most time on him all season trying to decide if he's worth it or not. I think we have at times used him in a cash lineup when we didn't use him in another lineup. At times we've used him in both. At times we fully faded him. We've kind of allowed Jared to be the Derrick Henry whisperer per se. He's saying play him.
I mean, it's one of the rules of the show, right? I mean, so I'm with it. I'm with it.
So let's just recap the rules real quick as we finish up 2020. They were, if the juice says play Kyler, play Kyler.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If Jared voodoos them, don't play them.
Correct.
Yep.
Did we have other ones? What were the other ones?
Derrick Henry. When
and
Jared
then
says play Derrick Henry.
Juice says
right?
I'm the Derrick Henry whisperer.
And
Yeah.
if he says play Henry, play Henry. Okay. Well, Henry and Taylor, you can't start. I mean, that's volume. Not a whole lot of pass catching coming out of those two, but a lot of touchdown equity. They're playing terrible defenses.
Yeah. Some of the
both
worst in the league.
At home with all the reason in the world to have big games. So come on, guys. Just make it simple. So I really am a big favor of playing a third running back in the flex spot. And
Me too.
I
And
don't.
I've got one.
Let's hear
I've
it.
got one too. I want to hear what Juice says.
Alvin Kamara, 95. I want to pay up as much as we can. I want to lock these points in. These guys have something to play for.
So I know you said it earlier. Recap what the Saints, what they need to happen this week.
Sure. I believe if they win, let me pull up the NFC. I've got the AFC up right now. Just 1 second. So if New Orleans can clinch a first round bye with the New Orleans win plus a Green Bay loss plus a Seattle win. So Chicago is playing Green Bay in Chicago. Chicago's playing better as of late.
And they have something to play for, right? They have a playoff. They have a playoff
in the
appearance on.
playoffs. So that is a big game this week. That could go. I mean, I would probably favor Green Bay in that game, but it would not shock me at all if Chicago beats Green Bay.
No, it would not shock me at all if Chicago beats Green Bay. I feel like Trubinsky is playing at the top of his range.
Yeah.
Robinson's playing well. Montgomery. So out of that game, I think so. I like our three running backs: Henry, Taylor, and Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to come off my pick was Taylor. It would be for Montgomery.
Okay.
Do we like Montgomery better than Taylor?
No, I don't like Montgomery better than Taylor. I think Taylor's like
Just a must.
it's an awesome play. I kind of like David Johnson again this week against Tennessee.
I think this is the problem. Because of how this slate is, there's so many running back plays.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I love
mean,
David.
like whoever Carolina's running back is, that could possibly be a play, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's
This is not a
dirty,
week
I don't
where
know.
I'm really looking for the cheap, efficient.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's plenty of receivers that are cheap and good spots that we can target.
Right. So I just want to me, I want to spend we got plenty of time. We're about halfway through the show here. These three running backs are important. So I like David Johnson. I like Montgomery. Any other names that we should be considering this week?
Nick Chubb's in a good spot, I think.
So-
I know it's Pittsburgh, but I mean,
No, I actually like Chubb, and I don't know if you watched, but Giovanni Bernard tore Pittsburgh up. So
and Cleveland's got to win this week. So
Cleveland has all the world and the reason.
and
to
it
win.
sounds like Pittsburgh has kind of taken the foot off the pedal this last week of the season. So
No, I see. So this is the tough part about this week. I like Henry. I like Taylor. I like Kamara. I like Montgomery. I like Chubb. I like David Johnson. we're missing a few.
I mean, I like Myles Gaskin too. I mean, he's
I like
he's
Myles Gaskin.
in a must-win situation. Buffalo's rush defense is not great.
I like Josh. I like Dobbins.
And here's some news that actually benefits Nick Chubb. T.J. Watt and Cameron Hayward are both out in Week 17.
What about 6,200 Josh Jacobs playing Denver?
Yeah, I just don't know if they've got anything to play for.
Yeah, he
gets banged up a lot.
He's been fading. If Matson's healthy, 6,100 Matson at Detroit.
Yeah,
Tempting.
for sure.
I'm just kind of going through this. Jeff Wilson playing Seattle. Jeff Wilson has scored 5 touchdowns, in the last 3 games?
Ronald Jones, the second, is also in a good spot. 5,900. Tampa Bay's playing at home against Atlanta. But, again, I don't know if they really have much to play for.
DraftKings will care if we just play 9 running backs?
Oh, man. I wish we could.
Like,
I wish we could this week.
There is running back plays for days, right?
Yep. For sure.
Giovanni Bernard is not a terrible play at 5,400. I'm not going to play him.
No, and Samaje Perine is out. So it's probably him and Tyler Johnson.
I better redo some lineups.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people.
This is interesting. Kamara only needs 68 yards to get 1,000 rushing yards this year.
I'll bet on that.
I just think Kamara's in a smash spot, guys.
Okay.
I mean, he just looks like.
So here's the thing. I love your play, pointing at you, J Master J. I love your play. I love my play, and I love the 5 we just said. So, I think Taylor's my favorite. Kamara's your favorite.
I like Taylor a lot.
And Henry's your favorite, right?
Yep.
And we have always said, we haven't done it yet, that we need to build around our favorites.
Yep. So let's lock and load Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry.
And Kamara. Okay, so we have about 2,200 for each player. Okay, well, let's go to defense.
I did the math. It's really not that bad.
I have done lineups similar to this. So, but can we just go ahead and stick the 2,200 Titans defense in, because I would much rather play them than the other 2 options, cheap of options.
I mean, I've got one that I've played before, and I kind of like him this week again.
Give it to me.
The Jets.
That's who I've got in here.
I'm the one who's been firing the Jets defense. That's you all. But
Against
New England, who has absolutely nothing to play for.
Nothing to play for. They've got
I'm in. I've already got
Newton.
Jets D locked in. We're doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that helps free up some. Oh, sorry, I had Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback spot, so that was what was causing. Okay, so we've got 3 really good running backs and a really good running back week. Obviously, we'll be watching all the information between now and Sunday that we can, because I think the key to winning this final week is picking the 3 best running backs we can in this slate. I think everybody's going to struggle at wide receiver a little bit, because I think it's just kind of a crapshoot this week. But so picking the 3 biggest running back producers is going to be the key to this week. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. With that said, we have I have the Jets in. We have about 4,300 per player. Who we're going to have to go down at quarterback, right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Let's talk about the cheap options that there are out there. We could go dirt, like just completely dirt, and make a shot at like a Wolford for the Rams, right? He's 4,900. We could start the Kansas City quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Who is not coming to me at this moment. Who's starting for Kansas City this week?
Well, they
haven't officially.
They haven't officially ruled Mahomes out yet. But let's see here. Well, who was it? It was Henne, Chad Henne.
Oh,
that
does not sound appealing to me.
Yeah, it does not build confidence.
You know who I'm gonna. There's a couple of names I like. I like C.J. Beathard, 5,100, playing against terrible Seattle defense.
I got a guy.
Okay, who's the guy?
I mean, we talked about his alma mater earlier in the show. He's got something to play for. He's been playing better. Baker Mayfield, baby. Let's go Baker. He's cheap. He's 5,500.
He's got everything. We're using in the
I mean,
world.
we're getting a little bit of leverage off the Chubb owners, right? Because a lot of people are going to want to play Chubb.
Are we scared that he's playing Pittsburgh, or are we just thinking Pittsburgh?
They got to win, dude. They got to win.
They got to win, and Pittsburgh doesn't look like they're putting.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they care if they're going to win. I mean, so
the only concern we're only concerned about Baker, because I love me some Baker. I think he's had a great year. If you really analyze this year, he's had a tremendous year. Is his ceiling? We need a big ceiling. Do we think
he's shown it this year? I mean,
He-
I'll give you a couple other names that are in that.
Here, I told myself, I've told you this, I've told Toby this. I've got to quit looking at defenses like if they're playing a good defense, they can't score fantasy points
Yeah.
because Cincinnati just torched Pittsburgh the other night. So anyway, I feel like I'm leaving points on the table, not playing guys sometimes.
And to prove your point, Baker Mayfield scored 34 fantasy points against Baltimore.
If you remember a couple of weeks ago, we said, "Hey, play Baker Mayfield," and we wound up not playing Baker Mayfield,
And he torched it.
and he lit it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
But here's a couple other names in that price range that I think are also equally pretty good spots. Mitchell Trubisky,
I like Mitch. Isn't he? He's playing Green
he's
Bay.
playing Green Bay at home, 5,600. The Red Rocket, who I've made fun of quite a bit this
yes,
year.
you have, and I don't know that.
Andy
one.
Dalton.
But he's proven me wrong. I will take the L gladly on that. He's playing the Giants, 5,600. So I think I would be cool with playing any of those guys in this price range as opposed to spending up.
What about $5,100 Tua?
Yeah, that's a name that I also kind of looked at.
I'm going to be honest. I don't like Tua.
Yeah, he scares me. I think he has a really low ceiling. right?
Fitzpatrick is way better than he is. I don't understand why he's the starter in Miami.
Well, Fitzpatrick's got COVID now, so
Yeah.
he's
Well, that
not.
sucks.
Yeah, he's not playing. Brandon Allen's at 5,000. He had a huge game last week. He's playing a tougher Baltimore team. I'm just giving out. I'm
Yeah,
just kinda
no.
going,
This is good.
CJ Beathard, I mentioned, is playing the 32nd ranked pass defense in the league in Seattle at home this week. He's the only thing he's playing for is a future lineup spot.
Maybe that's certainly not a bad.
But they're
Call.
without Ayuk, right? So
no Ayuk, which makes me absolutely
I
absolutely
think
love
Debo is even questionable.
Kittle.
I think Debo's done for the season. I think
Is
they
he?
shelved Devo. Yeah.
So if there's no Ayuk and no Samuel, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if we could
understand.
fit it in, but if you did go with Beathard,
I'm just I like Mayfield. I'm just naming some.
Yeah.
if you did go with Beathard, Kittle and him have amazing chemistry,
They do for sure.
and they're playing Seattle, which is a fantastic matchup. And I mean,
more than willing to fire Beathard Kittle. I'm also willing to fire Mayfield Landry. Is that what we're going to do? Would you think? Or actually, probably going to have to do one of the cheaper
Yeah,
Cleveland
I mean,
receivers.
a guy that you've liked in a lot of weeks, he's done pretty well. Peoples Jones,
I'm a Peoples Jones
and
fan.
then Rashard Higgins is back this week.
He is.
Yeah, he's 4,500, so he's not too expensive.
How much is Peoples?
3,500.
If we play one, we would rather do that. I think we're going to have to do that instead of playing Landry. I think we're going to have to play Peoples. To be honest, I don't know that.
yeah, with Kamara and Derrick Henry in there.
Yeah. But the good news is that playing Peoples Jones frees up a little. We're not on complete dust for the rest of the positions. yet.
Would we rather play Baker and Peoples Jones or like Dalton and I mean Gallup's kind of getting up there now in price.
I think I think the choices are C.J. Beathard, like Kittle, or C.J. Beathard Bourne. I think Bourne's not a bad play either.
Yeah.
I think Dalton with any of the three
Yeah.
that we can
Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb.
anybody we can afford.
Yeah.
I think Wolford Woods should be something we look at for the Rams because they really do have to win.
Yeah, with Cooper Kupp being out too, I mean, I think it's
Josh Reynolds.
Josh
is in a good
Reynolds
spot.
is only
He's cheap.
3,200.
So-
Josh Reynolds.
So Wolford Reynolds is or if not using Josh Reynolds as one of our wide receivers isn't smart, even if we don't use Wolford.
How much is Wolford?
4,900. I'm not saying we play. I'm giving us the cheap options. I also, if we want to, I don't think we can afford to pay up, but the other cheap option would be Rivers if we wanted to stack Indianapolis against Jacksonville. I mean, Indianapolis just scored a ton of points this year, period. Anyway, I like all. Let's go. I'm fine with Mayfield Peoples. Are you fine with Mayfield's Peoples?
I like Mayfield Peoples, and I like Beathard and Kittle.
What do you think?
How much is Beathard?
5,100.
And Kittle's what, 6?
6, yep.
Let's see what that leaves us salary wise.
And you could still play Peoples Jones. He's in a good spot.
And we can still play Reynolds.
you can still play Reynolds.
I think Reynolds is a good play.
Yeah, I think he's a great play. I mean, I don't see a scenario where he does not pay his salary of only $3,200.
I think he'll definitely get volume.
So we got Reynolds.
Yep. Or I mean, did you lock Reynolds in?
I put Reynolds in. So I've got Beathard, Kittle, and Reynolds in. That leaves us $3,500 for 2 receiver spots each.
Oh, so you took somebody out, right?
Right now I've got Beathard, Henry, Kamara, Josh Reynolds, George Kittle at tight end, Taylor at flex, and the Jets defense. So we have 2 receiver spots to fill.
Okay, did
And
you?
we've got 3,500.
Oh,
for
you
each.
took People Jones out.
Yes.
Okay,
I've not put him in yet.
who's not a terrible play at 35.
He's not a terrible play.
not at all.
Let's look though.
Bowden, Line Star has Bowden as their number 1 cheap play this week. They have him getting over 10 points at 30.
Is Devontae Parker out?
I believe he's shelved for the season, right?
Is he? I think you might be right, but
It says he's questionable, so it doesn't look like he's.
Has he practiced at all? Do we know?
Anyway,
That's not my
yeah.
play. That's just Line Star.
Yeah.
Saying they're Line Star's number 1 valued receiver is Bowden.
It says here that Devontae Parker is running well right now, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
another guy that's getting a lot of ownership that's cheap is Gabe Davis at 3,600.
I do love me some Gabe Davis. So just using another tool, Line Star has Lyndon Bowden at the number 1 rated value play. They've got Tim Patrick at number 2, Marvin Jones Jr., T. Higgins, Jalen Guyton, Gabriel Davis. Those are their.
I kind of like the Guyton play. I'll tell you why. Keenan's out, Keenan Allen.
Right.
For whatever reason, Herbert's projected with a lot of ownership.
Right.
So, I mean, they're thinking he's going to be throwing the ball, obviously, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I think Guyton's in a good spot.
I don't dislike Guyton. I don't dislike Bowden. I don't dislike Patrick, even though I don't like playing a lot of Broncos right now.
If you fired up Gabriel Davis and Guyton, that fits that lineup perfectly.
It really does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another guy in this price range that, I don't know, I mean, maybe Berrios. He's been doing.
I played me some Berrios in an earlier lineup.
Brashad Perryman's cheap also.
I hate playing Jets, and the reason is just the implied total, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And every time I play Crowder, he sucks.
I like Crowder.
I mean, here's a
yes.
Lazarus play of resurrection is maybe Des Bryant.
I mean, they have a good matchup, right?
Yeah, I mean they're playing at Cincinnati. They've got something to play for.
Are they giving him away for free? How much is he?
He's $3,100.
31. So, right now we have it's funny because if we can honestly look back on what we've struggled with this year, it's been finding cheap receivers,
Yeah.
and we're having to play 3 of them this week, hoping we hit on all 3 of them. Right now we're playing Davis, Guyton, and Reynolds. I am open for any combination of 3 receivers that you guys want to play, to be honest. I like all of them. As I think they're all pretty good darts.
This lineup looks beautiful. It's just that those 3 wide receivers
Look
in the
ugly.
middle. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, did you see David? You guys watched the Bills game? Davis had a giant touchdown taken back that he was on a play that they designed for
Man,
him.
that's happened to him multiple times this
I
year.
mean, he was wide open, and they called it back. I think if Buffalo were to get any kind of lead and they want to relax a little bit on the gas because they're going to have a playoff game the next week, leaving Davis. But Davis is a bona fide starter for Buffalo. So
Here's another name that I think could fly a little bit under the radar from Buffalo. He just got off the COVID list is John Brown
yeah,
at 3,600.
definitely got fresh legs, right?
Yeah.
He's how much? 37?
36.
36, same as
Davis.
Davis,
So-
yeah.
So we would be picking between the two of them.
The last 2 weeks that John Brown actually did play, he got 8 and 11 targets.
Is Mike Williams banged up?
I think he is actually.
if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are both out, I think Guyton.
That's what I'm saying. I think Guyton is a relatively safe play.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're agreeing that Guyton is one of the three, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we've all kind of.
I like
Yeah.
Guyton.
It doesn't look like Mike Williams is banged up. He did get 10 targets last week, but he only brought 4 of them down.
Well, let's
How many
talk-
targets
let's,
did Guyton
Yeah, let's
get?
go over the targets for how did Guyton do?
Guyton, he got let me see, you're backing up here. He got 5 targets last week.
And how did he produce in those 5
He caught 3 of them. He got 43 yards, scored 7.3 fantasy points.
That's with Keenan Allen playing, right?
Did Keenan Allen play last week? No, Keenan Allen didn't play last week.
He didn't.
No, it was Mike Williams was on the other side.
Okay. Henry's out too. He was out last week too. Mm-hmm. Okay. I still like Guyton. That's not.
I like Guyton actually.
Yeah,
I really do.
I still like Guyton too.
Josh Reynolds has proven anytime Cup is
yeah.
not playing that.
Oh yeah, and he got 10 targets last week
with Cup playing, right?
With Cup playing. Josh Reynolds is
okay,
I think.
so let's agree that Josh Reynolds is
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I've got him in. I
Okay.
have him in.
I could be sold off of Guyton and Davis right now, but Josh Reynolds I think is playing.
Lock
Yeah,
and load,
I've got
cheap
Josh
wide
Reynolds in.
receiver. Yeah.
Let's look up old Des Bryant's targets the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Because maybe he's trending up and we just don't know.
Give us Des
So he had one target last week.
for a touchdown.
Yeah, for a touchdown. He had 3 targets a week before for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. He has 2 receptions
Yeah.
the past week. They were both touchdowns.
This
Getting Josh
seems like
to be a priority though to getting touchdowns. I
yeah.
mean,
This seems like the guy that we whiff on all year.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was sad to see Marvin Hall made it back into the lineup last week.
He always burns us.
How did he not score? I mean, score fucking 10 points.
I don't know.
You're 30.
No
you're
wonder-
3,000 and the only receiver playing in the game.
No wonder he was released.
Go get yourself 10 points, idiot.
Man.
Like,
Oh, boy, this is rough. What about James Washington in Pittsburgh?
I mean, the only thing we can look at too is
No, because Mason Rudolph is the quarterback.
if
Yeah.
we want to go
But they played together in college.
They did, but Mason Rudolph is bad.
what about Baker Mayfield Hopper again? Because I think that's going to be cheaper than Baker Mayfield Kittle, or Beathard Kittle. We're spending a lot of
Hooper,
time.
you mean? Yeah.
We're
Hooper.
spending a lot at tight end. I'm saying if we want to do look at other wide receiver pairings just to save a little money so we can pay up. But I also like what we've come up with, and I think we have to admit that Kittle has a pretty huge floor playing against
Huge
him.
floor. I think this is going to be a
Huge
huge week
floor,
for him.
huge ceiling.
And I mean, I like Kittle more when Beathard is the quarterback.
Agreed.
Beathard is what kind of brought him into the limelight.
I like it.
I mean, I like that. Yeah.
Baker definitely has more to play for than Beathard.
Yeah,
Right.
but I think Beathard's just going to play the whole game. I
Right.
can't imagine them just benching
He's
him.
a lock for 3 touchdown passes too.
Beathard is?
Yes. I mean, he'll score. He'll throw.
This is
3.
going to be a good soundbite if that happens.
Well, I'll bet on it. I mean, I'll
like
be
it.
betting the prop on 2.
I like it.
He had
There's
a great game. He was off the main slate last week, but he was on like that 3-game slate. Wasn't Beathard last time?
He's fine. I don't have any issues with Beathard, and I think I think Kittle has the highest floor and maybe the highest ceiling of any tight end on the slate.
I agree.
Beathard
Right?
got 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Believe me, I don't speak about Beathard without some information. I mean, I like our lineup. Obviously, like I said, we need a big turnaround on the thing that we've struggled the most on, and that's picking cheap wide receivers. But each receiver we're playing right now makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Look, we're not looking to get 30 out of it. Like, we're not playing Stephon Diggs at these spots. We're
No.
playing Alvin Kamara.
If they went 15-15-15, we would win this.
We're-
There's
we're-
no doubt. If
we're
they
playing-
each score 15 right now, I'll make this call. If each one of our cheap receivers scores 15, we win.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue our running backs could absolutely break the slate, each one of them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think
we really need to be on the 3 in order to have a big week this week, as we've done and broke down this lineup. Now, Adams, we're not playing Adams, so what we could do, as we have the last few minutes here, to go against this lineup was we could pay down at running back somewhere, which I don't know if there's a lot of cheap running back plays, and try to squeeze Adams in here, right?
I mean, this week,
I don't love Adams against the Bears. Do you?
No, he's not. as attractive as he normally is. And I
Do you
think,
think Adams was matchup proof, Julio?
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, for a floor, do you think he's matchup proof for a ceiling?
no, not for a ceiling. I think he's like a guaranteed 18 to 20 points a week.
I would have bet my life
Regardless.
on him scoring 100, having a rushing at 1 touchdown and 100 yards last week against Tennessee on Sunday Night Football. I would not make that same bet against Chicago this week.
Right.
Okay, so that basically my question becomes: is there any player that we're not playing in our lineup, a tight end, a wide receiver, a quarterback that we think is a slate breaker, that we need to flex off these three, pivot off these three running backs, and pay up for one of them? Is there a player that we're concerned about not having in the lineup? JM, Master J, you first.
I mean, this lineup that we've built is like all of my favorite plays combined, except for cheap wide receivers,
Which we're just making do.
which I would like I was trying to say earlier
but
is
you're not concerned about not playing Adams, not playing
No.
Hopkins,
No, because
not
I'd
playing Ridley,
I'd rather play a cheap wide receiver than a cheap running
not
back.
playing Kelsey. I don't think.
No, I don't think.
I think here's the question too we should ask ourselves. Would you rather play Jonathan Taylor at 7,400? Would you rather play Justin Jefferson at 7,600? Or Adam Thielen at 7,400? Because I think both those guys
That's
are
a great way to look at it.
because those are both good spots. I think
Yeah,
that
no, I like the
with Dalvin
Taylor.
Cook out.
You
Yeah,
like the Taylor spot, right?
I do.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
I
love
think
the
I'd
Taylor
prefer
spot.
Taylor over either one of those guys.
Yeah.
I do too. Have you noticed that every one of our plays is starting at 325 other than the Jets defense? So we'll know how we're doing, right off the bat.
No, we won't know how we're doing after
kidding.
that.
I'm kidding.
We're going to be like, we might as well just shut the laptop down.
Dude,
at
if the
noon.
Jets defense scores 30 against New England, I'm popping champagne bottles. If we score 30 right off the bat with the Jets, I will get on the radio and declare ourselves victorious before the games start.
Yeah.
So we will know how we're doing. Or all of I mean, because the rest of it's clearly going to blow up. So we just need the Jets to get 10 points for us.
This is actually one of my favorite lineups we've ever built.
Ooh, I like that. I love when Master J makes the.
This is a Ray's League winner right here.
Are you gonna? Hey, nobody's giving us any guarantees. Are you gonna guarantee us 200 points out of this line? Maybe 180.
180 at least.
You're gonna give a game. I like it.
Derrick Henry's gonna kill it. Jonathan Taylor's gonna kill it. Kamara's gonna kill it. Kittle's gonna kill it. Beathard's probably gonna get 3 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds gonna get at least 10 points. Gabriel Davis and Guyton, I have no idea.
We want 15.
15.
15 from each cheap receiver.
That'd be great. This is a
So
great
we,
lineup.
got so we got Gabe Davis, and then who's our last receiver?
Guyton and Reynolds are the other 2 spots.
We're willing this to happen. We're spending the last few minutes of the show
Just speaking it into existence.
Speaking it into existence. So our lineup's
like
going to
it.
go 20 or plus from Beathard, 30 plus from Henry, 30 plus from Taylor, 15, 15, 15, 18, 30, 10. So what would that give us? 20, 30, 50, 80, 95. Doing pretty good here. So far.
110.
110, 125. I gave him 18. I'm going to give him 25 just to make it easier. 145, 175, 185. Yeah, we're going to get there. 185 is my prediction. Let me write it down. We're going to get 185
From this lineup.
from this lineup.
See,
Okay. Wrote it down.
I disagree
Okay, why?
because I think it's going to be 200 because we're going to get an extra touchdown from Beathard to Kittle.
Okay, I didn't.
That's right.
That puts us right at 200.
I went floor on Beathard and Kittle. I don't know if you guys noticed. I pretty much went floor there. I mean,
I'm
we didn't
going
go
ceiling
ceiling
on that. I'm going
okay,
ceiling.
so we're pretty much in the 185, 225 range with this
Yeah.
lineup. So if you guys like 185, 225, go ahead and play this. If
Bet
you
the
don't,
house. Bet the house on it.
yeah,
Don't play it in Ray's League.
don't
do
yes, don't play it in Race League. Yes, I don't know what Guardy One's going to do this week. His
It
traditionally
doesn't matter what Guardy wants.
he's
to
well.
this week.
What I meant was
And I know he's a friend of the show. But
he's definitely a friend of the show. He's a big supporter and
yeah.
friend.
And we love Guardy.
Guardy even chipped in a little bit to make sure that the midget car had the pivot's name on it.
That's
So
awesome.
we owe Guardy a little
Thank
bit.
you, Guardy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guardy. Thank you. Let's all say it once. Thank you,
you,
Guardy.
Thank you, Guardy.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Canner. So okay, we got over.
And can we say one?
Yep.
I want to say 2 words for
We've got about
another
3
active
minutes
listener.
to wrap this all up.
Kind of like this is like last regular
Yeah,
season
it's
show.
last regular season. Let's finish it off.
My favorite play this week is Michael Thomas.
My favorite, Michael Thomas. That was my highlight.
That was one of the show highlights.
Yes, we want to do show highlights. My other show highlight was when you said Baker Mayfield. I told you it was the smartest thing you ever said, and he went on to score 5 touchdowns. I think that was a highlight.
In the first half.
In the first half.
Then he's got
then he
like
didn't do anything.
20
Yeah,
yards in
yeah.
the second.
You said you wanted to play Mayfield to Landry. They had a touchdown really within the first minute of the game, and he threw 5 in the first half. And I had declared that the smartest thing you'd ever said. That's anyway. Again, I want to just take the time to thank. I mean, I'm just going to list them. The guys that I know listen: Guardy One, Heckin' Champ, Jess out in Colorado, Matt, my new favorite listener, Richard Battles. I know you're listening. Toby, Chris, I know you guys listen. Andrea listens. Jim, you listen. Brett, did I say Brett? Brett listens. I really appreciate the guys that I know listen. Take the time to give some feedback. Toby has been very helpful as an executive producer, trying to give us some friendly tips and helpfulness, here and there. We're getting some equipment. We're getting some sound box.
Yep.
We need to order that. I'll make sure we get that.
Yep.
We're gonna have 5 cameras. We're gonna have
It's gonna be lit. I'd like to also say thank you to my cousin Josiah Rose. Who
Oh
is
yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Josiah,
also
who's a guest.
a consistent listener. My brother Justin, who
Josiah
consistent listener.
Cuz came on here and scored about 180. in
Yeah, he
his
beat us
lineup.
that week, didn't he?
Yeah, he almost scored about 180. It was a good
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heckin' Champ came on. Guardy came on. Appreciate all the guests. We haven't got Ray on, which makes me believe we have to have Ray on. I don't care if we have to like hook an antenna up to the outside. We got to have him on for
You're
the
right. And Toby will eventually show up at some point,
we
right?
do. We can put Ray on a Zoom call and put a camera on him right next week.
Yeah.
That's why we got a TV director to help us with that. Okay, yeah, and we'll I hope if all the equipment gets here, fingers crossed, we're gonna have a really cool show next week. We're gonna work with the graphics. We're gonna work with how it's all gonna be presented each week. But you'll be able to see our faces, and you'll see the studio, and you'll get to see Jackson when he's here, and hopefully maybe Abby will be helping us, and you'll get to see the candles that Mama Lions bought for the studio.
They smell luxurious.
They smell very good. We all got laptops in here now. The place looks like a real studio now. I mean,
It does.
Right? Like it. Look for this week, Julio. We're going to be doing some Zoom NBA, right?
The NBA slate looks juicy. I'm looking at it right now.
Is
For
there-
today?
For
Yeah.
today,
You got to
So-
send us some
yeah.
lineups.
Julio sent us some lineups. We need to start using our Twitter and tweeting out some lineups.
Yeah.
I don't know that I will be available to do a NBA today, but I'll definitely be available to do one tomorrow.
That's cool.
Or Sunday if necessary.
Yeah. I'll probably just tweet out a lineup on the show.
But
tonight.
I promise you all there will be regular NBA lineups coming out. Julio and I will be, and hopefully J Master J2 will be on the Zoom calls. Doing quick breakdowns of the slate. We're just going to break down each game usually, and then give us a lineup that we built. We did this the other day. We built one. It's cash. It was great. It's exciting. I like
Christmas, man. I almost had a 4-digit day that day. It was
Nice.
good.
on a very small buy-in too.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll talk to you. Remind me to talk to you about it after the show about something, Julio. NBA wise. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. The ones who have listened, we appreciate it. I promise you, it's going to be back and better than ever. We're going to have some. I look forward to the actual show that we're looking to produce. This was just kind of, like I said, a step towards the show that we're looking to make. Once we get the show in the manner in which we want it, then we'll be working on some mass marketing and try to get the show out there to everybody. So for the guys who've taken the time to listen when we're just doing a thing and working on it, we put up some good lineups. We had some fun, right?
Yeah.
Tons of fun.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
and we're not
enjoyed
done. We definitely have one more football show in us. We may have a couple more. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how next week goes, and if we have time to do it. But if we don't, we got one more football show, and we got a lot of NBA ahead, right? And then
Absolutely.
maybe even some baseball lineups after that.
Oh, yeah. Baseball, man. I love me some baseball.
Yeah, and
You know what I love about baseball? Real quick. You can set a lineup pretty much in the morning and just forget about it.
Right.
Because baseball, like they set that they release their lineups pretty early, and very rarely do they have like late scratches or lineup changes. So you can just put your stuff together and you watch at night, and
Not
it's
so
great.
much NBA though.
No, not
NBA,
NBA.
Little tip: if you're going to play the NBA with us, the best thing I can suggest is you get a mechanism on your phone that beeps every time there's information about an NBA player.
Right.
You just need it. So, anyway, we'll do our best. Like I said, coming up in the future, we're going to do Sunday recap shows. Because we've realized and debated amongst us that a lot changes between Friday or Thursday and Sunday. And we want to just be coming on here quickly before the show and kind of giving us our final lineup so you guys know what we're playing versus what you're playing, and you can follow along and see how everybody's doing. But anyway, any last thoughts, Jam Master Jay? Once again, thank you. Truly, without you, this couldn't be possible. You've done a great job producing
Yes.
this.
Thank
I'm
you.
saying this like we're done, but we're not done. We got a show
No.
next week, but
We got lots left.
This is kind of the end of the podcast era,
The inaugural
of the
season.
pivot.
It was the end of 2020 pivot.
Well, it's into 2020 pivot, which is the podcast pivot,
Right.
where we're moving on to a YouTube channel show pivot
Yeah.
that will also be in the form of a podcast.
Right.
Right now, we've been just concentrating on being a podcast. So
We could also say it's the first pod of 2021.
Yep.
right, yes,
Right?
and yes, it'll be yes. So
And we are in 2021 now.
new show for 2021. 2021 version of the pivot will be lit, and we'll be putting fire over people's numbers, hopefully, for years to come. Work on getting some T-shirts out there. Again, look for us at the Chili Bowl. Juice, I'm going to give you the final words for the show. You've done a great job. You killed it. You put in time. You've taken time from your family.
It's been fun, man. Thanks for including me on this. I mean, like, never in my wildest dreams did I think we'd put out a podcast where people actually listen to it and look forward to it.
Yeah,
You know, so it's been awesome.
and we're going to get those numbers up. Like we are well aware of things that we need to do in order to get those numbers up, and we just haven't chosen to do them yet because we are putting this in the form we want to put it in, and it takes some time. So,
Absolutely.
and we're almost there.
Hey, last thing. Play Tristan Thompson tonight in NBA.
NBA tip, Tristan Thompson.
Yeah,
I like it.
Tristan Thompson.
Well, we're going to leave out with some Grateful Dead saying we need a miracle. We need that miracle. We need that ticket right before the show starts. We need a 200-point lineup, and we need Guardy 1 to come in at about 1:30.
Let's
Yeah.
get it. Let's get it. This
Let's
is
do
the
it.
week.
All right.
Good
See you
luck,
guys next
everybody.
See
week.
you guys. Happy 2021.
Yes.